Okay, so when we were at the Blue Collar American Dream conference, that's like Lee Hates conference. It was on the Sunday. My brother and I were there. We were like watching the shows, and then there's like a lunch break. So then we go up and like go visit my girlfriend. She's at the pool at the hotel, and there's this guy beside her, and then he's like hey, like my name's Joseph, like meet him, talk for like 5 minutes or whatever, and then like okay, cool, we're gonna go back. Like Bradley's coming on, so we're gonna go back to the conference, and then we go the rest of the conference for the day, and then we come back to the hotel where my girlfriend was at the pool, and we can't find her, right? And like where is she? And then like we walk around, we find her. She's like hiding in like a shaded area, like not hiding, but like far, like it makes no sense to be sitting there on a nice
Yeah, yeah.
day. So we walk over there, and then she's like, "Yeah, like that guy said to me, did anyone ever tell you have a nice ass?" Right after he shook my hand and my brother's hand, and then we left, and like no way, right? Because he definitely wasn't like a,
Sleaze.
he wasn't like a, like very ballsy for him to be saying that after meeting me and my brother who's like 6'4". Both of us can obviously fight too, and then
He didn't need hockey either, so
yeah,
he's like, fuck.
yeah, and then she's like, yeah, like I'm like that guy over there, not a masculine guy whatsoever, and like no way, and I'm like, you swear? She's like, yeah, like he's as soon as I turn around, like he's like, did anyone ever tell you have a nice ass? So like, okay, let's go, right? My brother and I, so we just both again, it's outside, so we both took our shirts off just to be sure, and then we walk over there. I walk up, I'm like, what's your name again? He's like, Joseph. I'm like, did you tell my girlfriend she has a nice ass? He's like, yeah, man, it's a compliment. I'm like, what in your mind makes you think that's okay to say to a girl that you don't even know after meeting me? He's like, man, I'm sorry, it was just a compliment. And I'm like, you're lucky we're in a public place right now because I'd knock you out. And then he's just sitting there, like, not knowing to say. He's like laying down, like tanning, right? And then he has like a water on the table. I like take his water, and then he had like a margarita right up. I'm like, yeah, this is my drink now. I took it out of his hands, and then we just walked away. And then he like packed up his stuff and like left, but
Oh
like
yeah.
didn't fight. He was just like, ugh. And then we like took the margarita out of his hands, like walked away, and like the pool was crowded. Like it was again, it wasn't a big scene, but enough people saw us go over there, like just like dominate the guy.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, so I mean, most people don't know. Like, so tell us about a little about like, I mean, we were talking the other day about like hockey and stuff. So you, I mean, you broke someone's like face or something. Like you like back in your hockey days.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
You don't want to mess with this guy, dude. Like he's a hockey boy.
yeah, I used to be play quite a bit of hockey. Like, I played my whole life. Played major junior, so I played in Canada. It's the CHL, so it's like OHL, WHL, and then the QMJHL. So I played that for 5 years, from like 16 to 20, and then as soon as I was 20, I signed pro. I was playing in the East Coast Hockey League, so it's like the goes like NHL, AHL, then East Coast, like you're in the farm team system. I did that, and then yeah, I had quite a bit. I got quite a few points. I was almost like a point per game for the most part, but I definitely like to fight a lot, and played on the edge. Like 1 year, I had the most penalty minutes in the whole CHL. So like out of any guy 16 to 20 years old that played major junior hockey, I had the most penalty minutes out of anybody.
Damn, so that means you got in the most fights then out of anyone.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had the most fights 1 year,
Damn.
and then just in general, just penalties too. Like I was kind of like a shit disturber, so like you'd mix it up a little bit, get in people's face, piss them off, and then like throw the odd dive or two, or like get someone so angry they'll take a penalty. Because then I'd be also on the power play, which was nice. Another thing I would do is whenever a stick would come up at all near my face, I would like go like this, and then you drop down, and then I would like take my glove off really quick because it's 2 minutes for normal high sticking, but if you bleed, it's 4 minutes. And I would always just go up, nail, and then just rip my nose, and then you come out like this, like pouring blood. So you get the extra 2 minutes. I would do stuff like that too, like greasy
Jesus.
little anything you can do to win, right? That's what
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was doing. And then also if you're on the power play, then you get the extra ice time, get a goal or something. Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, yeah, hockey's like we said too. Like, it's not really like not really an American thing, but you guys, it's big up there. It's professionally sport. Like, so you've been doing it for what? Like since you're 8 years old? You said.
No, I started when I was 4. It was like the first year I played regular
Shoo.
like organized hockey. It's the youngest you can play is 4. So we started at 4, and then I played all the way up until I was 25, 24, 25 when I graduated school. And then by that point, I was either go back to pro or go to Europe, which most guys do on my team. And that those kind of options were there because again, I was playing pro before I went to university and played hockey there. But by then, my business was doing so well that it made no sense to go play hockey. And it was kind of like,
You don't want to make 20K a year. You want to make
yeah,
do that in
like
a month or so.
yeah,
Or
like
per
yeah,
week.
a week or a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like I was in school, so my third year of school, because that's the thing is when I went to university, I like fast tracked my school so I could be done quicker, so I could go back to pro faster. Like that was my mindset going in. And then by the time I finished my school, I did it in 3 years, supposed to be four. My business was doing like 300K. I'm like, okay, do I want to go like move to Europe or go back down in the States and play hockey for $20,000 a year, or do I want to continue scaling this business? And then by that point in my life, I kind of had like those whole like you go through like your life revelations. I realized I was playing hockey because I thought that was the only way to build a future for myself and have a success and like have financial freedom was through hockey. Like that's the only way I thought you could do it was being a professional athlete, and
Yeah.
then doing these dirty jobs like you've seen, um, quite a bit more financially lucrative, and it's also scalable and it's not time sensitive. Sort of like kind of athletes' careers are short, and then you finish and you have nothing to fall back on, no school, no other skill sets. Like up until 21 years old, the only thing I was a hockey player.
Yeah. So I mean, and tell us about that. So like right now, like, I mean, too, like, when you're an athlete too, you have like all of it riding on like, like luck if you don't get injured and all this stuff. Whereas now, like, you have how many guys do you have working for you right now? They're working for you like what 4,000 miles away or something.
Yeah, so we have 11 people kind of like full time or like some salary. As as with home service business, like it's kind of fluctuates throughout. About like 11 people full time, and then we use quite a few subs, and we call them partners, but they're subcontractors. The most people I've ever had working at one time was 16 full people when everyone was in house. But now working with teams and workers, and it's nice because, like I said, now we can kind of get away, enjoy myself.
Travel and stuff.
My business is still running. We've been gone for like 2 weeks now. It does not impact how much money I'm making. The crews are running. I have good people there, and also it's nice to take care of people. Like I have a handful of guys with me that it's their full time career. They're making six figures, and they're very happy, and they take responsibility, take pride in the company. So now I can come visit you. I can go to Miami, go to my friend's wedding, and have that asset that still makes money for me and still, yeah, provides me the life I have today.
Sweet, man. So like, let's go back a little bit to the beginning. Like, so I mean, like, I know you grew up with like a single mom. You want to tell us about how like that work ethic, like having to, like make money, like how did that affect your life, like growing up and stuff?
Yeah, so I grew up in like very, very single mother, and also just like the stuff that it was better with a single mother than like living with my dad. Like he was just like, yeah, not a good situation. And I remember being a kid, like being like 7 years old on Christmas, being like, hey, like I can picture that exact day where I remember feeling like I can't do this. Like I felt really bad for my mom. It's not in a negative way. It's just like feeling bad for your mom because she's struggling and you're a kid and you know that she's struggling and feeling that bad for her, but then also feeling like you also are sad a little too because of like the way things are going and stuff. So I think that's been installed in me since I've been a kid, and it really pushed me in hockey to always be like the hardest working guy, to always, and then with my business to push and want to be able to be in a position that I'm in now. Like I'm even better now than I ever thought I could be, to be honest with you. So seeing my mom struggle and seeing like kind of how it impacted me as a kid and like kind of this crazy stuff that went on. I think my whole life has been driven by like I can picture that like kind of a couple like key moments, that's made me now want to have a successful business, financially stable, be able to take care of like people I love, my friends, my family, and have kids one day and do all of that, and be a positive role model for my kids and someone to like teach them all the dad stuff and
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
yeah, I know. Actually, be a good father figure, have a good solid family, and yeah, not have to worry about money too. I mean, that's like a huge. I mean, if you got one income, like that's even when I grew up, like we just had one income, just like we had like four kids, and like you don't really have like even like sending going to the store an extra $20 is like you might have to put something back. I know
Yeah.
you probably know how that was.
Yeah. People
I
that
mean,
say, I always say when people say, like, oh, money doesn't buy happiness, like, I agree with that. But if someone says that, they haven't been poor enough to know that money does solve a lot of problems. Like, when you're, like, not having fun, like, money to, like, send your kids to school, food, and stuff like that, it's like, there's no way that you can say, oh, money doesn't buy happiness if you haven't actually truly struggled. So, again, I agree it doesn't buy happiness, but buys you freedom and it buys you peace of mind, and it makes it a lot easier to enjoy life and be happy when you're not worried about like basic necessities for sure.
and what was the point where like, cause like, so you're doing hockey and stuff, and then what was the point where you're just like, I need to make money, like what was the first thing you did, and like how did you go from like, oh, I'm 21, I only know how to play hockey, to like, okay, I can make, you know, $100 an hour or make $1,000 a day. Like what kind of transitions from there?
Yeah, so like I said, from being like only hockey player, I had a really bad concussion. I was playing pro in a fight. I had my helmet off, hit my head, had a really bad concussion, and then that's what pushed me to go to university because I had my like scholarship that you get from playing major junior. And then I remember thinking, okay, cool, like I have to do school because this is my last chance to like make anything of myself, or I'm going to be a loser. And then I'm in school. I'm sitting in those classes. I'm realizing that none of this stuff is actually going to teach me how to get what I want in life, and that's having like a really hard time with like this person's telling me all this useless junk, and now I'm not going to be in the NHL probably if I don't play hockey again because when I first got there, I wasn't on the varsity team. I was just doing my rehab through the school, and I was panicked. I was like, I'm gonna be every nightmare I ever had. I'm gonna be a loser. I'm not gonna have anything I wanted. And then I stumbled into window and gutter cleaning. There's a student that was a few years older than me, kind of taught me how to do door to door. My first day I went out, made my $500, and it was like I was addicted to it. I
Yeah.
can't believe these people have money, spend $500 on window cleaning, and I got obsessed with it. It was obsessive, like door to door, growing my business. That first summer did 55K, and then like I said, by the time I was graduating, we're doing 300. So just knowing that there's another opportunity besides hockey, uh, fired me up really.
Yeah, and it's like it's crazy thinking about like how when you were 21 or for me when I started I was like what 22 or 23. Like yeah, even making like an extra $100 a day, you're like, oh my gosh. But now it's like now like making $500 a day is just like child's play, or $1,000 even. It's just like nothing.
Yeah,
Like it's just like weird to think about, huh?
your mind change. It's crazy how fast your mind
It's
develop.
like there's
If you're
levels, you
pressing
know.
it, yeah, there's levels. Like if you told me after my first summer of me busting my ass so hard to get to 55,000 that we'd be doing six figures a month, and only 6 years from then, I wouldn't have been able to comprehend it. But then you see someone else that's not that much different than you
Yeah,
that's doing 20,000. Oh wow, like that's possible. 20,000 a month, I'm meaning, and then it's like, oh, that person's doing 500,000 a month, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, 100K, it's expected. Like it's expected. $500 a day, we'd go out of business at this point. Like,
yeah,
whereas like at the beginning, I was like, I can't believe I just made $500 doing that. So yeah, just it really, like I said, opens your mind to what's possible, and then you surround yourself with people like yourself, people that are doing similar things, people that are doing bigger things. Truly pushes you, and if you have the right mindset, you see other people doing well as something to motivate you and something to learn from. Versus, I feel like most people in society today see someone doing well and think it's because it's at the cost of somebody else.
yeah. I mean, like you mentioned a little bit, like you know, oh, I can't believe some people have $500 to spend on window cleaning, and then it's like people spend $1,000 on a bottle of wine, like you mentioned too. It's like you realize like some people money isn't even really a thing. Like some people like because we grew up, I mean, middle class or lower middle class or whatever. Like yeah, money is just like such a big deal. And then you realize there are so many like money is like quite literally infinite. So I mean that's one of the things you also mentioned about going to rich neighborhoods, going to people with money. Like it's $1 million house. You don't think they have an extra few $100 for window cleaning or something?
And the other thing I preach is the people that live in the people that have the money, they're not even concerned. Let's say $300 windows, they're not concerned about being 300, 200, or 400. Their number one concern is that it's done properly and it's done on time. You follow what you say you're gonna do. You can charge a premium for people that have money. For instance, like I pay for all my meals to be delivered. If there was out of every 5 times it shows up late or it doesn't show up at all and it's a quarter of the price, for me where I'm at, that inconvenience of it not showing up randomly or showing up late is not worth me trying to save money.
Rich people want the consistency. They want the good job, the good result. I mean, that's like what the E Myth really talks about. Like McDonald's, the reason why it's so successful is that consistent, like the exact same burger every single time. So if you just extrapolate out that to like higher lucrative brands or whatever, like you know, definitely really important. So, I mean, that's what you guys do at Padpole. You like have. So I know you guys don't do permanent lights anymore. That was not
Yeah.
necessarily we. That's a forbidden word, but
Yeah.
you guys are mostly focused on just like windows, gutters, asphalt ceiling, Christmas lights. Obviously, we'll talk about that. We got some videos coming out. How much Christmas lights you guys looking to do this year?
We'll do about 250K. So that's kind of what we'll stick at. And again, for us, I could go add more vehicles. Like we fill it up so fast. Like we could go add another vehicle, add another vehicle, add another vehicle. But that 250K every year, it's recurring. It's on cruise control. Like we change out a handful of people each year. It's by far our favorite service. Yeah, so it's a very like it's a good high ticket. It's recurring, and then people do Christmas lights. They're obviously going to do their windows and their gutters.
Yeah.
So those together, like it helps us bring our average customer. So I call it at Home Service U our home's yearly value, $2,088 per customer. And we have like a 92% return rate. So if you can spend $5 on a Facebook ad, like you teach on your stuff, or a good ranking website on Google and you're getting them for free, like some of your clients are and how you are with you since we've been here, your phone's ringing off the hook for free with a good ranking website or minimal Google ads, $5 or $20 a day, and then you know they're going to spend $2,000 ideally, not every single person, but year after year after year. You can see how easy it is to start scaling in the business, and the dirty jobs are out there, like
Yeah.
and there's such a low supply of high quality companies that do what they say they're going to do. So people will pay a premium for that, and that's kind of where we found our success is separating ourselves from our competitors.
No, that's crazy. Like $2,088 per per customer per year. That's insane. So what so like take us through, so if someone's looking to start a business, they're looking like, okay, I've seen the money, I've seen what I can do. What's the starting? Like you start doing door to door, then Facebook ads, then start hiring people, or what's kind of like where would you start right now if you
So
had to start?
when someone asks me where they should start, I always say you can be lazy, but you can't be broke,
Yeah.
right? So if you have no money, like when I started and when you started, you have to get out there hitting doors. And even when people have money, I say, hey, get out there and knock on doors because you're gonna learn how to interact with customers as you're walking up. You can like start mentally pricing jobs and like getting that skill set up. But if someone comes through with no money, it's door to door sales, door hangers, yard signs, car magnets, like it's like how exactly how you did. You're grinding it out. If someone comes in with money, similar to what you'd probably say is get that presence set up online, run some Facebook ads, and have both kind of going at once to get it really kick started. Invest. You don't want to invest all your money in equipment. That's a waste of money. Get the
Yeah.
cheapest equipment you can get. It's more focused on bringing money in the door and then reinvesting into better equipment. So, number one is doors. Add some paid ads, a good website, and then doing good work, asking for referrals, and doing what you say you're gonna do.
I had another question on YouTube. Someone asked me to ask like when would you hire your first person? Like when did you do that, or when would you say for someone to start hiring?
So my mentor, again, I've taken it way, way more serious and way farther than he has. Like he had other business ventures he went after. It's more of like a hustle for him. But the thing that he taught me was hiring workers right away.
Yeah.
So I started my business in February, and in Canada it's like -30. And this kind of goes to show you the grind I went through. I started in February going door to door. So it's like 3 feet of snow, like -30 Celsius. Like it is freezing cold. I knock on the door. People think you're crazy because you're knocking in February asking about work that's going to happen in May.
Yeah.
But these successful people, they're doing it because they like you, right? They see the drive in you out there, being out there knocking on doors. I do the quotes, collect the deposits. I use that money to buy my equipment. And then as of like May 1st, I had a full 6 weeks of work booked out, ready to go, that I sold all year long. That first week, right away, I had employees. I did 3 houses by myself the week before just to learn how to do it. And then Monday to Friday, that first week of ever being in business, it was me, 2 workers there. I was training them as I just learned a week ago. Trained them. I was on site for that full week. Second week, I was there for half days. Third week, I'd stop in and out. And then by the end of the month, I was fully focused on working on my business, so leads and sales, and providing them with jobs. So I had workers from my first week, right away. Workers. It's easy to train someone to clean windows, clean gutters, but it's not easy to train someone how to close jobs and manage a business and scale a business. So I focused on that right away, and I've never really looked back. Of course, my first year, my second year, there are times where you're not good at managing guys, so you're showing up and like picking up the pieces. But the most work I've ever like been on site for was the first week, and from there it was workers.
Yeah. That's good, man. And then I think you mentioned too, like people like spending money. It's just like a crazy thing when you think about how much people like to buy. Like we mentioned this earlier, like people love to buy. Like, and then because a lot of people have the limiting belief, like they'll come in and be like, "There's no way you can make that much money doing that," because you booked up 6 weeks of jobs even in February, and like, but the people love to see the hustle. I can't remember I can't tell you how many people I've knocked doors and like, thank you for like knocking on my door. Thank you for coming out and doing this. Like we have like such a valuable service. Like a lot of people forget that like when they haven't started yet, they haven't done work, and they're afraid that people don't want to spend money. Like, what would you say about that? Like, how many of your clients are just like they don't even care about money? What would you say?
I like to say this, people, just because you're broke doesn't mean everybody else is broke. You
Yeah,
said earlier, like, people spend $1,000 on a ball, like, and now I'm sure, like, yourself, you surround yourself with some of these people that have, like, money doesn't make a difference anymore to them. So yeah, it's just changing your mindset. Like, you're providing a valuable service for people that it wouldn't even make financial sense for them to go up. A doctor, or someone's making 200K a year, it makes no sense for them if to go out and spend their time cleaning a roof, or like someone like yourself or someone like myself now. Like, now that my business is rolling, I'm making way more money in that 3 hours for me to go do my own thing, or like cooking my own meals, going to the grocery store, coming home, cooking the meals, preparing them. Let's say it's a 6 hour activity. I could make thousands of dollars just doing calls for Home Service U or calls for PadPal. I could make thousands of dollars calling jobs, selling jobs, and then have my meals dropped off. So it makes no sense to go make all the food to try to like save money. So these rich people cleaning their windows for $300, now they can actually have some of their time back to do, because again, if they're rich, they probably spend a lot of their time working to do things that they want to do. Like, there's more to life than trying to save $300 for rich people.
yeah,
And it doesn't, and people don't even have the equipment, and you're providing a valuable service. And for instance, roof cleaning, like, you don't clean their roof and you let it rot and you don't go there and take care of the roof for them. Next thing you know, now it's tens of thousands of dollars in repairs. So you're
yeah,
providing a valuable service that people need.
yeah. I mean, rich people just understand these things. They're like, yeah, like you said, no, just because you're broke doesn't mean everyone else is. No, that's definitely it's the craziest thing. Because yeah, for us growing up too, like, oh yeah, like I remember when $7 was like a lot of money. I'd be looking through, but now it's like, yeah, it doesn't even matter. And like flipping that mindset, now it's like, I mean, there's people in Dubai that make $1 million in a day. If they don't make $1 million in a day, they're like, fuck, like what the
Yeah.
hell? So, like, how is your thermostat, like your mental, like money thermostat, gone up? Like, what's going on next? Like, where are you trying to hit? You have any like goals, like long term or anything?
So I'm not even like, as much as we talk about money and like talk about business and stuff, I'm not even that like money driven as much as other people are. Now that you're in the business world, you meet guys that the only thing they care about is
Yeah,
money and dollars. I look at money this way. For me, like, I'm already doing well. It only gets better. Everything with home service business, it snowballs. Every year you get more, it gets bigger on its own. So I don't have like a per se goal. I think it's, for me, like I said, it's having the freedom to spend time with people I like to hang out with, take care of my family, and not be told what to do. I'm at that point now, and like I said, like, once you have the skill sets, like, you can lose all your money today, meaning you can go tomorrow. You're not worried about money. I don't think about worrying about money at all,
yeah,
because if I lost everything, I know how to leave my house tomorrow and make $2,000, and then I know how to get it up. So there's not like a per se goal. Like, and here's the thing, it sounds crazy. And when I heard that, someone told me this when I was first starting my business, and never would have believed any of that. It's like, I actually just enjoy now getting better at what I'm doing, getting better at helping my students in Home Service U, getting better at manage my company's reputation, like adding people and providing opportunities for people. So I don't have like a set number goal. It's just getting better at the game of business and building better relationships and meeting cool people, doing cool things and doing fun things with cool people, I guess,
yeah,
is my what I do it for. Like, being able to come here, hang out with you, meet your girlfriend Mel, your fiance, sorry,
yeah.
Mel, meet Bean here. That to me is, and again, it's, I don't even know, it's what, a Wednesday. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, I don't, and money
You didn't
doesn't
have the alarm
probably,
clock. You didn't have to wake up or anything. You
yeah,
didn't have a boss shouting. You didn't got to drive to traffic. And I mean, so you didn't spend. So you were mostly just went straight from hockey to this. Like, you didn't really spend like because I know some guys. You know, for me, like I've worked like a shit ton of different random jobs, like, you know, in kitchens or at tire shops, and just like working those shitty jobs like really pushed me to like get better. But I mean, you kind of already was just like, it's either hockey or this. I'm gonna like have to do that.
yeah. Well, I did like jobs like growing up, again, like try to help pay for hockey and stuff. I could work for like my coach's landscape company, like digging sprinkler holes and like working at hockey camps. I've worked as a busboy like throughout hockey. But yeah, like, I've never had a like, real job, I guess. Like, I've never had a real job. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I've never had like a job that wasn't between hockey or
because you can't really work for if you're doing the season 9 months of the year. You can't really work a job for 3 months. They're not gonna want to do that.
yeah,
So
yeah. Like, I've actually, like, now that we're having this conversation, I've never actually had a real job that's like a career. I've never had a
damn.
career. I'm the first.
Yeah,
I got my university degree. Like, I finished school, and I'm the first person in my family like graduate university or go to university or do any like post-secondary, so that feels good. But the piece of paper, like I couldn't imagine, like if I used my what I graduated with, try to go get a job, I'd be making like 30K a year, 40K a year, working for the government with no upward mobility and someone telling me what to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never had a real job, I guess.
That's
That's my
that's
first time realizing that right
that's
now.
crazy. No, that's
It's
awesome.
hilarious.
I mean, I remember like I saw some video the other day. Some guy was talking about like he just got out of college and he's like 23, 24, and like he's trying to find a job. He's dropped off like 100 resumes and like no one really wants to hire him. And I remember this too. Like even when I was in college, I was trying to find like a part-time job because I was doing sports as well. And yeah, I just remember like not even getting like a call back from all these companies. And like even if it was like even if I was gonna land this get a job, it's like what, $15 an hour. It's like yeah, you're making what, 30, 40K a year. It's just like it's so hilarious thinking like like thinking small like that when you realize there's like almost no competition like starting a business where you can make six figures. Like it's like you got people battling over these crumbs of like getting like a job. Like, oh, I need like a someone to sign my paycheck. What what do you see? Like, what's your opinion on like risk of like, oh, like starting my business is gonna be risky versus like going and getting a job and having someone tell you what to do and only to make 30K a year.
So you know home services. It's like if you go out and do one window cleaning job a day, Monday to Friday, $300 a job, you're making 6 grand. Like that's higher than the average Canadian salary. I don't know what the U.S. is, but it's probably close to the average U.S. salary, if not more. Making $6,000 a month on your own, and you could work for half a day, and you have no one telling you what to do. You can go on vacation. You can do what you want. It's I think it's just kind of like embedded into the way society is, like the way the school system is. People make you believe that there's only one way, and it's like having that safe job, and then you go see these tech companies lay off 500 people in a Zoom meeting. Like
Yeah.
how safe is your job really? And then you have no skill sets. You're in your mid 40s. You've only done the bare minimum because you can get by doing the bare minimum at your normal job, and now you've nowhere to go. I think that's way more risky than, like I said earlier, me and you could lose everything tomorrow, and it would not, like mentally wise, like maybe it's just 'cause, like I have that mentality of like nothing can stop me, but if I lost everything tomorrow, it would be like, oh fuck, like let's start it over again. And I have
Yeah.
the skill sets. I'd be making 100K. I'd make 100K by the end of this year. It's already September now. I'd easily make 100K.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to go job hunt and whatever. There's another 500 people or whatever that just got laid off. Like I think it's just embedded in society. So people that are, it's hard for people, right? They hear their family. Like I have a friend of mine whose dad like is a male guy, and he worked. My friend worked at Blood Services, like it's a 50K or whatever a year job, and he was so held on to his dad's impression of him and stuff because his dad had the stable job, like the getting by job, and then he like it's hard when you're around that.
Yeah.
I've always been able to kind of do whatever I want. Like my mom's been like very yeah, like whatever. Like my brother and I were like alone a lot because she's working a lot to make things work. So my
Like, this
mom,
guy better make some money, so I don't have to do this forever. This guy better get
yeah,
after it. That's cool. I mean, my parents were a little bit different. Like, yeah, it was very much like you need to go to school. It was like you either going to school or you need to get like a government job and like just work for, like, because I did some time in the military and stuff, and it was just like that was like the idea of success in my parents' brain. Then it literally took like years, even to this day, like last year, he was like, "Oh, when are you gonna get a real job?" It's still funny because like I'm making more than my dad has ever made or whatnot.
your
It's
parents
like,
still say that to you, yeah?
like it was like it hasn't been for a while. Like it's
Yeah,
been like,
yeah.
but it's just funny, dude, because it's like, yeah, you go out, you make, like even this like adults, it's like, yeah. I mean, I was talking to one of my customers too. He's like 64, and he's been at this company for like 14 years, and they just laid him off. He's 64, and he doesn't have any. He only knows how to do like some computer stuff, but it's like, yeah, it's just so scary for me. Like that is like the most scary, like the most risky thing is like putting all your eggs in some other company to like take care of you, when it's like that's just not real, dude.
It's funny because I was in Miami like I guess it was like 10 days ago, or visiting my friend. So they do content that's called Deep Social Brands, and we were doing a podcast. And during the podcast, he referred to when I met him at a coffee shop. I DM'd him on Instagram. He had like 2 episodes out, but he was still working at a government job. And he has, I think he's an Indian background. I don't know what it is exactly, so forgive me if that was wrong. He's very like
I'm sure I'll
school,
forgive you, yeah,
very
sorry.
school
Yeah.
focused, like very like very, very, very like school focused, safe job, like immigrant family. Yeah, it's definitely immigrant family. And then we're on the podcast, and he's like, "Man, thank you so much that day in the coffee shop. But, like, you're the first person to believe in me, and that's why I went and quit my government job. Like, I was doing he was doing benefits, what not benefits, what is it? Pensions. He was doing pensions, and like I remember him being working the government job and him like tiptoeing and being worried about his family's things and like the safe job and giving that up. And then when we were having that podcast, and he said that he was working in the government as pensions, it like threw me off my seat because the guy I see now is like confident, making all this money, like absolutely killing it. And I always remember him being that government person, but hearing him and picturing him sitting there doing working for the government, doing pensions, it was like, it really reminded me of like, holy fuck, like imagine if he spent the rest of his life like that. He is
Yeah.
so like, just as like the way he carries himself and everything that comes along with betting on yourself, that's again outside of money. It really like kind of threw me like, holy fuck, man, like this guy he would have been a fraction of the person he is
Like a
today.
shell of a man,
And
almost
40,
like,
yeah, a
yeah.
shell of who he is today. Even 40 years from now, he would have been nothing compared to the person he is today, just by going out, taking that leap, betting on himself. He went from Canada, now lives in Miami. Another one of my friends, same idea, like from Ottawa, moved to Miami. They're doing full-time content, living their dreams, the beautiful ocean view, like doing something. Again, it's not easy all the time, but doing something they love, making more money, and the care. Again, when you're starting your business, you don't believe some of this stuff, but the people they are today is more than the money. And it really threw me on a loop when he said that that's what he was doing, pensions at the government. It'd be like, imagine I told you, yeah, I was doing pensions at the government. You wouldn't be able to picture me doing that. Like, it
No,
really threw me on a loop when he said that.
no, that's crazy. Like, yeah, and just imagine like, I mean, because we talk because we both have like so many students and stuff. They're like, they're worrying about quitting their jobs. They're worried about this and that, and then it's just like when you realize just like how, yeah, I mean, it's really just about society just telling you need the job, you need like someone to sign your check for you, hold your leash. I mean, hold your hand or whatever,
Yeah.
like whatever. But yeah, it's like I can't even imagine like that
Well,
the life.
the thing that really killed me, man, is like, is for instance, like my girlfriend, she was a teacher last year. She worked for a full year. Now she's doing her own
She's
business.
retired now,
Yeah, she
so
did one full year and retired. And for me, like I said, I guess I made that connection today that I've never had a real job. But when last year I'm like, hey, I want to go here and bring her with me, she wasn't allowed to because she can't take her time off work. She's not allowed to do this, she's not allowed to do that. And you're making like 40K a year and you're having someone control every aspect of your life all the way up to like you get your X amount of days off, all the way up to you're 60 years old for that pension. That's like you're still ending up in a shitty retirement home anyways with the kind of pensions that these jobs give you. So it really last year was like frustrating for me to have a girlfriend that had like a normal job that couldn't leave, couldn't do anything, and then it's also she'd make like $200 the whole day,
yeah,
like all day long at the school for 9 hours, make $200, and then the government takes a bunch of it, and she still can't do her vacation, she still can't come here, she still can't do that, and yet you still don't have enough money to live. It's
yeah,
like it is literally like I think we're living in like the biggest like slave era ever of just people having these jobs that can't get by, can't do what they want with their time to live to 65, then they abuse their bodies in a stressful like not being happy, not being fulfilled, like hating their lives, and then they're 65, retire, you're in old age home, cool, you got your 10 like what, 1,000, $1,200 a month, and you're 65 years old, and like what was the point of like it's sad, and like that's why I'm happy that me and you are doing the things we're doing, like doing our students, helping guys, helping. I have girls in my group as well, like bet on themselves and actually live a life on their terms that they want to do and enjoy it. Like even if I wasn't making the money I was making, the experience I've had doing my own thing is way better than waiting till I'm old and then retiring and rotting in an old age home.
yeah. No, it's like it's insane. Like I know, yeah, because like it kind of you kind of become almost out of touch. Like it's like okay, yeah, there are people out there making $200 a day. Like that's like all they can make, and like or even like yeah, I'll talk to some people. They're like, oh yeah, I just need to make I just need to make $600 a week. Then I'm chilling. I'm like $600 a week. How do you survive on 2 grand or whatever a month? Like, it's insane. But then like yeah, you're working let's say 40 hours a week for someone. You're making like yeah 6K or what's average salary like 5K a month or 6K. Like what do you think if you actually like put your heart and soul and your skills into a real business? You don't think you could easily double that, triple that? Like you're getting like most of your time in your life is just sucked away to this job, and then it's like
Well, even if you're just matching that, like it's so easy to match what you're gonna get
yeah,
paid,
just
and then you
match.
still have your life. Like even if you're doing something you probably like, if you're doing it on your own, you probably like it, and you're not dealing with all the extra shit that comes with a normal job. Like I think the biggest risk you can have is spending your whole life doing something you hate and then just dying. Like it's crazy. Like life goes fast, man.
Yeah, dude, it's been moving so fucking quick recently. I'm just like, but like when you love what you do and it's really just like you don't even see it as work. Like right now, like I mean, technically, like all the stuff we're doing is work, but it's like when you don't have to do it too. That's another thing. It just like really like changed my mind.
I don't
Like I
even
was
like
like,
calling it work. Like
yeah,
when I say, "Oh, I gotta work," I feel like it's such a negative connotation when I say work because it's technically working, but like if I wasn't doing it, I don't know what I'd do with my time,
yeah. It's
right?
like people will be like, oh, I want to retire at 30. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do with your life? What you're just gonna sit on a beach and just be a bum to society? Like, because we actually like you and me actually genuinely care about helping people, making
Yeah,
the world a better place. Like, so like I see like if we didn't work, if we weren't doing what we're doing, like that's like a negative to society. I don't want to fucking retire and just be a bum. Just like
yeah.
what's with that? Like so.
I really feel like for me at least like the like PayPal and like the financial success of that and like building that huge company, that's awesome and all that, and like who know, like we've been approached to sell, I declined that, and it's again, who knows, maybe my kids take it over, like maybe sell, like who knows where that goes. Like I see it for going on for years and years and years and years from now, but I don't even really care about that aspect. Like I know just from the last year, 2 years of doing my online stuff, helping people like similar to you, helping guys go from stuck at that 9 to 5 or like hating their life to having successful business. Like I'm now on that train of making, like I want to have a lot of people at my funeral. I know once you die, it's like a week later, everyone forgets about you anyways. But my funeral, like I know I'm gonna have a lot of people there because the stuff that I'm doing online, same as you, is helping people change their lives. I never say that I change their lives because it needs to be them doing it,
But you're
but
helping, yeah.
like firsthand, you've seen guys that you've helped, you've supported them in the life changes they've had. So that's kind of my thing, is having a massive funeral with all the people there that you've actually made a difference in their life.
Yeah, because I mean, you have like so many students and stuff, like crushing and stuff. What about you mentioned you saw one of your students the other week and you talked to his wife and she was like so thankful that like you
Hmm.
like helped him grow his business and stuff. Like, how was that?
Man,
Like talking to someone else about it, like the wife.
so we've done it. We've done in persons before, like when they're first starting out to teach them Christmas lights or teach them a service. But we've never went in person before. We're gonna start doing a lot more now to meet someone that's actively in the group and doing well. So he told me like 18 months ago he's working as an electrician in Florida for someone else for like 25 or 26 bucks an hour. He said, and then he was bet on himself and was doing owner operator, and then now he has his dream truck. He has a guy working for him on his old vehicle, and then I meet his wife there. He has like 9 month old daughter. He has his little dog, and like it's crazy. It's just crazy to see that someone can take the information that like someone like me and you provide, put their own effort into it because we don't do it for them, and then like his wife comes over and how much it's really made a difference in their life, and the business is rolling. Like he did 34,000 last month. He's doing 50,000 this month, and before he was making less than $5,000 a month with the exact same skills as electrician, but now he's actually doing it for himself. So, and that's just one example. Like you probably have countless of them as well. Like I have guys that come in, a new father, like I need to have this business because I don't make enough money and need to start this business, and now they're doing 15K or 20K a month, and everyone's at different levels and everyone wants different things, but it's nice to get those text messages like you do from guys as well, like hey man, thanks so much for helping me get this or pushing me to do this or whatever. It's super fulfilling, and I'm sure same as you, when you start business, you when someone says, oh, it's more than money, you're
Yeah,
like,
you're
yeah,
just like roll
whatever,
your eyes,
yeah,
and then it's like when you
whatever.
actually do it, it's like crazy. And then that's yeah, and then talking to the wife, that's cool because like now, like I'm sure you talk to guys who like want to start the business, but then it's like, oh, well, to actually like do it, it's like, oh, well, I gotta talk to my wife. What would you say to anyone who's like, oh, I gotta talk to my wife, or they don't make any money? Like, I mean, we were talking like, oh, I feel
Well,
sorry for that
in
wife, you know?
in a joking way, like no wife's gonna say, "Oh, I don't want you to make more money," right? Like I don't know a world where like your wife and your like having more money is like we said, it's gonna help you provide for your family, open up more experiences, and having more money is gonna take a lot of stresses off because most people are stressing about money.
Yeah,
But like in a serious aspect, and I've said this before, is I'll have guys that come to me and some guy says, "Oh, I can't start my business this week. I don't want to start my home service business because I have a baby on the way." And then they don't start the home service business and then they stay where they're at. And then that same week I'll have someone that says, "I need to start this home service business because I have a baby on the way." There's
Yeah.
two different ways. They're like, oh, I need to speak to my wife like because of XYZ, and then someone's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and make my wife proud. It's two different types
Yeah.
of people, and it just, and I'm sure you've seen this as well. You've been doing the game long enough that it is so easy to do well on your own, on doing your own business, because so many people are the I can't start my business because I have a baby on the
It's like
way.
the if versus the when. Like,
Yeah.
especially like door to door is a good example. It's like, I'm not going to knock and see if I get a job. It's like, I'm going to knock doors until I get a job. Like, until, it's not if, it's like when I get a job. Where it's like, it's not if I make this business work, it's fucking when. So,
Yeah.
like, most people just have, they're taught the if. Like, I don't know if I can bet on myself. You know, most people don't ever bet on themselves in their entire life.
It's like I was fishing yesterday.
Yeah, fishing too.
Casting for like 5 hours yesterday, and I think that's just because it's hardwired in us from not taking no for an answer.
No.
We were out there till the last second, and then we caught our big salmon, and that one big salmon we pull out. I caught it, by the way, for the record.
Yeah.
Good coach. That was my first fish, but like that one big salmon, like we forget about all the like lures we lost. Well, they were your lures. Sorry about that. But you forget about all those misses. You forget. Even today, I have to remind myself when I think, oh my God, my life is so beautiful. I feel like I went through a phase where I thought it was all going to be taken away from me like this. Like I felt like I didn't. It wasn't like even now, like being all of the freedom we do and the money we do and like the opportunities and the people I know. I have to remind myself that I was that guy in February knocking on doors, being told no, like getting the door
Yeah,
slammed in
you
your
built
face.
who you are. Like, Adam Chapman didn't just start, like, you aren't, like, you've gone through your journey, and like we've seen some people trying to like shortcut that. They're trying to just skip straight to the success, and it's like, I mean, it's hard, but like you really, I mean, you said you've had mentors and you've really just focused on building the skill sets, because like you said too, if you lost everything right now, it's like, okay, well, cool. Well, I know for 100 fact, like we could go out and knock doors tomorrow and make $500. It's like,
It's
or more
5:30 right now. We can leave right now and
yeah,
come
we
home
can
with
make money
500.
right
Yeah,
now.
we could go right now and make $1,000, $500, still go to dinner. Like that is
You have the
more
skill,
about, yeah.
you've practiced, you put in the reps, you've seen it too. Like most people never seen it, so that's like, that's one of the videos I really, when I saw your content too, like I really liked the 5 cent to $500 like thing on TikTok. Like that was really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. I believe on TikTok, right?
Yeah, it's on
So
TikTok. Yeah, and again, that was we did that last year. My company's already doing the numbers we're doing, but because everyone always comments like, "Oh, it's easy for this," and people comment to me now, "Daddy's money," and like they have no idea, right?
yeah,
So we went out last year, took the full day off. Again, there's definitely better things I could be doing with my time than going to a gas station cleaning windows. It took us like an hour to get that $8. I like kind of messed. I got roasted 'cause I kind of like took $8 as a tip. The guy said take a little tip. So, but yeah, like I went out that day just to prove to everyone. And again, you know how it is with the internet. Even if like 5 guys saw that and like, oh wow, he did go and went from nothing, went to the gas station, cleaned windows, made money. We made, I think it was like a little over $500 that day. It was a long day, but it was a shorter version of how we are today. And then, like I said, now today, like staying in the five-star hotels, like having dinners with my friends in Miami that are also doing business owners. Like we're gonna go out tonight, like me, you, like my girlfriend Mel, go out, have a beautiful dinner, and like we don't like $500, whatever. I don't know where you guys are taking us tonight, but reminding myself that
McDonald's.
you have to remind
probably,
yourself that
so.
you deserve this and that you earned it, because sometimes it does feel like your life is too good and you don't think about all the struggles that you had to go through.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, so many people on the internet too. It's just like, I think I saw this one time. It's like you could be handing out $100 bills on the street, and someone's gonna still say like, "Oh, why aren't you handing that out to someone in Africa?" It's like people are
Yeah.
gonna talk shit no matter what you do. So, I mean, that goes to anyone in their life too. Like, I mean, yeah, whether it's even if it's your dad or your parents, like saying, "Oh, you need to be doing this." It's like, well, am I gonna live the rest of my life like just listening to what this one person like dictates my whole life? It's like, it's just a crazy thought. I mean, you've seen all the awesome stuff that you've been able to do just because like you took the bet on yourself, like you went after it. So is there anything else that you'd want to say to someone who's just like they don't feel fulfilled in their life? Like, what would you say to start making money or build your skills or what? Like,
So the first thing I would say, like on a simple level, is so many people think, oh, think about it, think about it, think about it. just fucking do it, because the absolute worst case scenario if you fail is that you're in the exact same position you are right
Yeah, you're
now,
still
but
broke.
you've learned
So
something. Like if you the only way you fail is if you stop doing it and you give up. That's the only way to fail. But go out, try. If it doesn't work the first time, you learned something, try something else. Okay, cool, maybe that clicks, maybe something clicks. Like it, in a simple form, it's go out. If you fail, you're in the exact same spot you are. When someone says to me they're making $3,400 a month, working 50 hours a week at
yeah,
Amazon, and they're
that's like
afraid to,
rock bottom. Like, what's the worst case
what
scenario? You just
what
go
do you,
back to that job. Like,
yeah, like,
yeah,
or even do it part time, like do it on the, and again, that's where it goes. It's hard to, after work, after 9 to 5, to go home and now pick up your phone or go do door to door sales. But what is the alternative? You work at Amazon for the next 50 years, then you die, and then they, like,
I mean, everyone's different. Like, some people need to like I have a guy in my program too. They're like, he still works a job, but he works on weekends. He books up like $800 of car detailing on the weekends, and then now he's kind of easing into it. You and me are kind of more like we like to jump off the cliff and just go for it. So
and I get that though. I do get that, but even that though, even for someone to add on as a part-time thing when there's zero to lose, but the time you're wasting watching Netflix, people like that, it's just like that's why it's so easy to win, because people do hate their job 9 to 5, and then they'll go home, do nothing all night, and they don't care about making an extra $800 or making an extra $500 that equals $2,000 a month, which is $24,000 a year, which is a significantly better life, even that extra 24,000 if you're making 50 or 40. Yeah, those people are. That's why it is so easy to win. It's
yeah,
so easy to win.
and it's just crazy. I mean, yeah, once you just don't like, yeah, it's not money isn't even like necessarily like a thought. It's just like, okay, when if I need to make more money, we just book some more jobs or something. Like, it's still crazy to think of like, because yeah, when you and me talk to people all the time, like some of our friends or people like on the internet, they'll be like messaging, and like some people, like I saw a comment, they're like, I would be happy with just an extra $200 a week. I'm like, just it's crazy, like that, like some people's thermostat is just so low, they don't even think about like the potential of like, yeah, instead of working 9 to 5, like you don't think you can make, if you took all that time and actually put it into something where you're actually making money and then building a business, it's just insane. So I
And
don't
some
know.
people don't know. They need to get out there and experience it. And people get so afraid. And it's, I think the main thing is listening to the outside voices. It's your friends, it's your family. Like, the odds of you right now, if you're not running a business and you have that 9 to 5, and you're like, the odds of your friends around you when you go want to do that, that you surround yourself right now, that are actually going to support you, insanely low. Like, it's insanely low that the people that you surround yourself right now, if you're not where you want to be in your life, are going to be there with you at that next level you want to go. So people that are in that thing and they're in that mindset of wanting to elevate to that next level, or they, your brain would not think, oh, I want to make more money or I want to start a business, if you weren't capable of it. Your brain, I don't wake up and think, oh, I'm gonna go become a rocket scientist, or I'm gonna go become a famous singer. It's like, I'm not capable of that. My brain doesn't want something like that. So if they have that thought in their head, the biggest thing I think that holds people back is their circle of people they're around with right now,
Yeah,
their upbringing, whatever it may be, and then they get so afraid to make that jump. And for me, when I first started my business, it was lonely going from the hockey guy to the business guy. There was like a year there
you were a
where,
window licker for a while
yeah,
there,
window
like
liquor, guys are making fun of you, like creating content, like
I
they would
mean,
roast you for that.
I mean, no one grows up and they're like, this is something I'll say all the time, is like, no one grows up like, oh, I want to clean gutters for a living. But it's like, getting after making the money and then actually, building a business around it. I mean, it's still like, I don't like, no one's necessarily like, oh, I'm not going to be passionate about it. It's like, I don't know, I'm pretty passionate about making money. It's like, and it's like,
It is more than just the windows and you're passionate about the, again, the growing the skill sets, like the company. It's like I always knew I wanted to be able to have a family, not financially struggle, and do what I want with my time. I thought it was hockey. I thought that was the only way. But now when I compare, like if I was playing the NHL, like you're still on somebody else's schedule for 9 months of the year. Like you're still so many uncontrollables.
if you get injured or something too, or you get dropped from the team, or like there's so many things you can't control.
Everything I've ever wanted in my life, again, I don't have kids and stuff yet, but everything I've always wanted, if it's from doing dirty jobs and building like that home service empire, it can provide me with the life I have right now. Like it does make you passionate about it. It
Yeah.
does make you care about it. And seeing that you're building something, it's like an art. Building a business is like, it's like you take pride in every little detail of it. And everything I've been wanted in my life, again, like I'm even better than I've ever thought I would be, came from doing dirty jobs. It makes it easy to be passionate about it. Like when someone first told me cleaning windows, they're like, who's gonna pay 500? Who's gonna pay money for that? And that's not.
That's what my dad said when I first was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna pressure wash." He's like, "No one's gonna pay you to clean their driveway." But that's just like, if I listened to that, like, I mean, it wasn't. Again, like, it's not even like necessarily like our parents' fault. Like, they were just taught this shit too. But it was just a much different time. Like back in the day, in the 60s or 70s, you could afford a house with just working any job. But now it's like, try getting a minimum wage job and buying a house. It's just like, you need to be fucking successful now. Like, what would you say to anyone who's just like chilling? Because they're like, oh, I'm making 5K a month at my job. I'm just like chilling. But then, like you said, like slave. It's like, for if you do that for too long.
I saw a tweet recently, and it was like the average home price in Canada is like 746,000, and to be able to qualify for a mortgage, if you're a solo person, you have to be making $180,000 a year. That's the top 1% in Canada. So it's literally impossible to, like, a six-figure job right now. You're not even able to own a house or do anything with your life. So we are really in a time right now in the money printing time and the like
The
can't get too much in the
squeeze.
weeds of that, where it's like
Yeah, I don't want to say too much.
yeah, you have to bet on
Yeah,
yourself, and no one else is going to take care of you as much as you'll take care of yourself. And you have, in the way that things are today, you have to find a way to be able to take care of yourself, even if it is outside of your 9 to 5. You need to find some way to make extra income and have a skill set and develop that. And again, if you are in that group of people right now that, if you're not where you want to be right now, maybe most likely your friends aren't there, your family doesn't, and that does impact a lot of people from taking that jump. That's why I encourage people, and I was lonely my first year, questioning, staying in late. If you're going to start your business, surround yourself with other people that are doing businesses. Most likely going to be on the internet, because again, if you're from a smaller town, most of your friends aren't doing that. Most people in your city aren't going to be doing a business. So getting out, like, joining programs like we offer, and surround yourself with other people that are doing the same thing as you or have done the same thing as you, it is the most, like me and you, first time we're meeting in person was yesterday,
yeah,
and like I'm like, fuck, like it feels like we're friends, but it's because we have, like, well, I guess we are friends, but it feels like we're much closer than being in person for 24 hours, because we know what it takes to, like, we know the struggles, we can relate on a lot of things without it having to be spoken.
yeah.
And
We put in
getting
the
in groups
time.
like that is huge, man. Getting in that's another thing I'd say to people is, if you're gonna do it, get involved with other people, surround yourself with people like that, because your friends and stuff might judge you for starting your business and all this. They might make jokes at it. They might, like, make you question yourself. But then if you're able to go and surround yourself with a community like the ones that we have, and there's someone in there saying, "Hey man, good job closing your first deal. Hey, congrats on having your first worker." That is the energy that you need to be around. There's way too many people that are going to try to pull you down. That Get out there, surround yourself with like-minded people, and that is an absolute hack to life.
Yeah, I mean, people. It's just crazy. I mean, people will, like. I still remember like people talking shit like, "Oh, you spent that much on a course, or you spent that much on a mentor," and it's like, yeah, they spend 20, 30K on a college degree, and now they're working a job, hating their life, and it's like, have you ever regretted spending money on yourself? Like,
I can't, and you get to a point where, all my friends are successful. Like, you're actively looking for ways. Like, as I've been here with
yeah,
you, I've been like,
they're
hey,
like,
what mentorship? What do you do this? How would you
yeah,
like
I'm
that
looking for more
one?
ways to spend money. It's like, oh, I haven't spent money on myself in a while. It's like, because then you get stuck in the same like mentality. Because like we said, there's people out there that are making $1 million a day. They
Yeah,
don't make that. They're like, so it's just like constantly setting that thermostat to higher. If you're not where you want to be, then yeah, you're absolutely not surrounding yourself. Because also too, like, I mean, if you're not successful, or you're doing something, you're not doing the right things, like, it's hard to like to keep going, and like, or like knocking doors, or even fishing, if you don't see anyone else catching, if you don't see anyone else making money. But we've seen, like, you've seen people, I've seen Adam personally like making money, like knocking doors and shit. It's like, okay, I've seen him do it, then it's possible. Like, if Adam can do it, I mean, this guy's got brain damage from hockey. Like, if this guy can make money from like knocking doors, then like anyone
yeah,
can. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. You got to be around people that are gonna support you and that are gonna challenge you and push you. And it's like, again, I hate going back to that, but it's so easy to win if you are out there and trying and find your tribe. You're gonna attract the kind of people. And your point on college, like, for me, and again, like, the whole money thing, it's, I can look, like, the most important thing to me at the end of the day is being able to look myself in the mirror. Like, I'm brutally honest with myself. Like, if I don't work hard in the gym, I know I didn't work hard in the gym. I'm not gonna say, oh, I deserve to do XYZ. Like, I'm brutally honest with myself. And so many people can't can't be honest with themselves, and they get the babying from people around them, and they like, oh, it's okay, and like people want them to be on the same level. When you start pushing yourself and doing better, people try to pull you back down. Whereas when you're around someone like me and you, and you're like together here, you seeing me do well pushes you to do better, and me seeing you do well pushes me to do better. And there's such an abundance mindset. People that are doing well are more than happy to help you out. Like for me, looking myself in the mirror and saying, like, you can say to someone, "Hey, bro, I can help you make $1,000 a day cleaning roofs," and you can say that, and you know 100% you can do that, and then people will spend tens of thousands of dollars of school debt just to say like, "Oh, you might get a job."
Yeah,
You might get a job, and it's still not enough money.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, dude. Like, but I mean, that's what they want us to think. 'Cause, I mean, we need those people that like, give us our Taco Bell or scan our groceries. It's like, but I don't know. I could never live that life, and now we're doing the things we were doing. It's like, fuck, I can't even imagine like not being able to do this. Like, it's hard to describe if people haven't done it, but like, yeah, betting on yourself. So I mean, and yeah, surrounding yourself with people that you've seen it.
It's not, and we're not sitting here roasting everybody that has a job. Like, it's not that at all. It's just that there are. That's the thing too. Is that most people, if we went and showed this to the entire population, a lot of people will be upset. But there's that small fraction of the people that listen to this and then go and take action and actually live the life of their dreams. It's worth having people mad at you.
Yeah.
It is. Like if you worried about what your dad, again, we didn't get too much into that, but if you always worried, oh, why would people pay power wash and you never did it, like you wouldn't be a fraction of the person you are or financial success you are today. And then just opens so many doors. And then that's the thing is, if you're getting up every day and trying to be a little bit like 1% better than the next, like the day before that, good things happen. Like you get good bounces and things work out.
Yeah. No, and yeah, being brutally honest with yourself too, I like that a lot. Because yeah, that's something like I feel like anyone who's actually successful has just such a high integrity. Like, cause it's like you can't bullshit yourself. Like, cause like, oh, I didn't work as hard at the gym, or I didn't post this stuff. Like, people like look at you and like, oh, how is like Adam so driven? It's like, well, it's like we just hold ourselves to a higher standard. It's like, don't be fucking like fat, don't be broke, and don't be lazy. Like it's like just we know that about ourselves. We push ourselves.
And that's triggering some people. Like,
Yeah.
Like, and all of my like best friends.
I doubt
like,
anyone that is watching this far into the video though. So like that doesn't like that. But
oh yeah, if they wouldn't listen. Yeah, they wouldn't listen this far. But all of my best friends, like in same thing, home service youth students, I tell them that I'm like I'm always gonna be straight. Like me and you're good enough friends now that if you were being an idiot, I'd be like, yo, like fucking figure your shit out, bro. Like you're not gonna do that. But if you're like going off path, and like I would say that to you, and you would take that and be like, okay, that's because he cares. Whereas most people would be like, oh, that's like it's pulling you down. Like
yeah.
you need to have someone that's gonna call you out on your shit, and you need to be able to take it. Like you'd be able to call me out, and I'd be like, fuck, man, like Spencer is right. He's right. Like, oh, I was being fucking lazy, or oh, like we didn't feel like filming after this again, and like I said that to you, and you're like, man, like you came down here to film. Like, what do you mean? It's only 3 more hours, then we're done. And I'd be like, fuck, he's right. Like I'm being a little bitch.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, for us too, like we both grew up with like doing sports and stuff, and like I responded really well to like a coach. Like, I mean, I remember getting yelled at, and it's like, okay, you need to do your shit. Like, I feel like, us guys, we respond better to that, getting like, I respond better to like, harsher criticism, but like, you see a lot of the people like the touchy-feely crowd. I mean, usually it's usually women because they need to like that more like being nice, like, oh, it's okay, you can do it. Whereas like us, it's like, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so that's what I respond well to. So I try and like hand that out to my students as well, because that's what I feel like guys need it too. Guys need a lot more about that, like to get pushed.
Especially today, man, the way things are today. Like I feel like
we're being raised by women where everyone's soft and stuff, and it's like
we're really trying to like take away of like masculinity from guys and that competitive edge and
competition. It's like that's huge for men. It's like I mean, you grew up with hockey and stuff. It's like, okay, I need to be better. I got to be the best. I got to push myself, and that just doesn't stop. You just like I see so many people like they finish school or they get off like because I mean you haven't played hockey in a few years, but it's like, oh, imagine if you just it's like, oh, well, that was cool. Competition was fun. I'm just gonna like retire now. But it's like, no, there's so much more shit you can do in your life. Like, what the fuck?
It's funny when I see guys because when I was at Carleton, that's when I started. Like at university, that's when I started my business, and guys would always make fun of me, give me a hard time, like like
Where are they
really
now? No, where are
like
those guys now?
they again like a few years ago, a couple of them applied to work for my company and all of that, and it's like, well, let's say I see them at an event, like there's some whatever event, and I see them, they're all like miserable. Like I can't, I'm like I see them like, man, I can't believe I'm the same age as these guys. Like they have aged like 100 years. They're out of shape. They complain about everything. They're always tired, and I can't believe that I'm the same age as them. But I'm like, it's because I've been still going to the gym, still waking up, pushing
Yeah,
myself, doing
and
something I
just never
love,
stop.
versus like they finished hockey and then like, oh, like 9 to 5, like government. I'm from Ottawa, so everyone's government job, and it's like you see them and it's like I can't imagine this guy another 5 years. Like
Yeah.
you feel that energy sucked out of them, and then in general society be like, oh, like every year you get older, like every single year that every single year my life has gotten better.
Yeah,
Like
that's how it should be. Like,
yeah,
fuck.
every single year my life gets better. It's doing cooler things, doing like meeting better, like meeting cool people, doing cool things, and I like get excited for the next year, whereas like most people are like excited for the next year in the only sense that it's 1 year closer to 40 years from now when they retire.
Yeah, people, that's insane. They think about like, yeah, just like they look at retirement as like some sort of goal in like 40 years or whatever. And I mean, I remember, I think when I was just getting into this whole thing when I was like 22, I remember reading books that said like, age 25 is when like your neuroplasticity, like it's like you're not able to like learn as much. So basically like, I mean, so many people like the time is running out. Like they think that like, yeah, like those guys are what, 28, 29 now.
Yeah.
It's like, what are the odds that they're gonna like fix their life? Whereas like you and me work with a lot of guys who are younger. Like that's who we're mostly talking to, like younger guys, because like you gotta get it. Because if you wait too long, if you're 25, you're 30, next thing you know, you're gonna wake up and you're 30 or 40, 45, and you haven't done anything. It's like gonna be so much harder to make those changes.
And I see guys in my program, like we do have a bit, like we do have some guys that are like in their late 30s, early 40s that
Yeah,
come
some
through
guys
and
are
they
like able
and
to
they
do
do
it.
that and they kill it because they get to that point where like, yo, I need to do it, but it is like it is hard. Like you said, if you're not doing it, you're not actively trying to, it is harder. We do have guys that we do attract a good crowd of guys that are like they see kind of what we're doing, they're looking more like scalability and stuff, and we attract those guys, and I respect the hell out of those guys doing that.
I mean, so
But
many people have been successful like over the age of 40 or 50. It's just harder. And it's like saying people are like, oh, maybe I'll start that business next year versus like, why the fuck would you wait? Like when you can do this now. Like, if you can live the
I've
life
learned
you
more.
want
I've
now.
learned more in the last. I think every single year I get like like more successful, whatever that even means. I realize how much I don't know about anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I realize every time I meet some, like I realize how much I don't know about anything. The more I think I know something, and in this last 5 months, I've learned more in the last like 3 years. It comes in waves, and I've just being open, approaching every situation like you don't know anything. Like when I'm coming here to see you, I definitely know there's things that I can help you with and teach
Yeah.
you. But I'm also like, okay, open sponge. Like, yeah, like this morning I'm talking with my team back home. I'm like, hey, Spencer said this, this, and this. Like, I'm soaking up stuff from you. I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm giving you advice or tips. I'm sure
Yeah.
I'm saying stuff to you that I'm not even trying to teach you, but like it's sitting in your brain, and you're like, oh, cool. Like I picked that up. It's always about
Yeah.
learning and being better. I'm at conferences like Bradley's there. There's one little thing that you can pull from somebody. As soon as you close your mindset to growing and learning, you're done. And most people do that. As soon as they finish school, they're done, and it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah. I mean, that's like 2,000-year-old concept. Like they said in the Bible, like in order to be a good leader, you got to be a good follower. So you got to be able to like learn that. That's something I noticed about you
I
right
like
away.
that.
You asked like, oh, like how you're asking questions and you're like, and then even too, you're around the roof and you're like, oh, you guys should totally use this. I'm like, oh shoot, like let me write that down. Like getting new perspective, like thinking that you know everything is just the ego is just fucking like
Kills you.
it's crazy. Cause like, and then we'll talk to people too who think they know everything and they're just like, and even we realize it's like we don't know anything. Like it's insane.
I thought I was good at sales. I thought I was good at sales until this year. I hired a guy that's been doing sales for 9 years. The only
Yeah.
thing he's been doing is sales. I've been a business owner, so I've been doing a little bit of everything. And then a prime example of you, again, you have way bigger following than me on social media, but we talked a while ago, and I was like, hey, man, like, you definitely get a guy going for you. And now, right now, here we are filming this podcast, and your guy's out there doing the
Yeah, being
job
able to
for
build
you.
a business, actually making money
Like,
with building a business. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas like if when the first time we talked, if I'm like, hey man, like you can definitely get a guy under you, like keep it small if you want to do it that way, but still get a guy. Like it's again, I
Yeah.
didn't say it like you're an idiot, but I was very
Kind of
like
was, but
I was
it's
kind of like, what
okay.
the hell, man? Like why don't you?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
now, you like we came in last night, we were out fishing all day. There's $500 on your table. and me and you were fishing the whole day. And
Yeah.
then if you took that negatively and took that as like a, oh, I have a bigger following, or oh, I have this, then like you wouldn't. That's $500 yesterday, and then it's a $700 job you guys doing right now as we're sitting here doing this podcast. But if you had a closed mindset or took it in a negative way,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been doing that. Like you told me a lot of things since I've been here already that I've picked up and learned.
Yeah, no, I've learned so much from you too. Yeah, people just, yeah, they let their ego get in their way, and then, but yeah, then you realize like the most successful people, like some of the most successful people I know, like, yeah, they're always asking, they're always learning, they're humble, they're just like, they because yeah, you realize like, it's in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's like he said, it's one of the it was a president. He's like, every man that I meet is my superior in some way. So it's like you got to look at every person. Like this person knows something that I don't know. If like imagine if like every person you talk to, like you learn something new. It's like
Yeah.
there's the potential is crazy. So
And different life experiences, like there's always something to learn from somebody else that's done something more than you. That one little thing here and there really adds up. Like my videographer guys, like they teach me something new. You're always learning. I brought my new videographer to go meet my old videographer Jamie. Like he's in Miami now, and my new videographer here, he's there and he's just soaking it up. Like they had a good conversation together, and then today he flies into Washington today, into Seattle today, and then we're sitting at breakfast, and then he's like going over like some of like his pillars, and I'm like, I can hear that he got some of that stuff from Jamie, versus if he went in there with an ego like, oh, I'm the new video guy, that's the old guy, he would not be getting to the place he wants to be.
yeah,
And I'm sure Jamie picked up something from him or two. Like it's always about learning, and people that are doing well are always trying to learn. They have an abundance mindset, and people that are stuck in that like bottom, let's call it the bottom, stuck in that mundane, and like they have a very like limited, scarce, like there's not abundance out there. But then as soon as you start doing well, you see how willing, like for instance, me and you could see each other as
yeah,
competitors and like, oh, like don't like, but me and you both know, like we said this yesterday, it's crazy that someone would know who you are but not who I am. And then I'm talking to a guy right now from Seattle who I'm like, oh, I'm filming, like, what are you doing here? I'm like filming with Spencer Clay. He's like, who? I'm like, what
yeah,
the like you're from the same city. And then you said that yesterday, there's a guy from Ottawa that doesn't know I exist.
yeah.
And
It's
there's so
insane.
many people out there that I look at me and you doing the stuff we do with our online and helping people and supporting people. For instance, I used to say help, but now I say support because my girlfriend, she's has a master's in education. She says you don't want to help someone, you're supporting them. It's
Mm,
much more positive language, right? Like it's little things that you pick up. I always now say support, right? And then I used to say easy. I don't like saying easy. You're supposed to say it's attainable because there's nothing in life that's easy, but it's
yeah,
attainable to make $10,000 or $20,000 a month with a home service business. Is it easy? Like, yes, I could say that, like, but it's attainable.
yeah,
Like, I can look at same as you. If you have someone that has social skills, they're down to work hard and get a little dirty, you know that you can get them to 20,000 a month doing roof washing. Is it
yeah,
going to be easy? Not. It's attainable. Right? Like it's a step by step that you know, and you can put that into somebody. You taught me today. If we had moss on roofs, I could now go clean a roof. Is it going to be easy the first roof I clean? No, but it's attainable. You taught me how to sell roofs today. You taught me how to clean a roof today. I can go sell roofs for $700 and do them.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, most people don't even. They, yeah, support versus help. No, that's good. I like that. I mean, so as far as like, I mean, for your home service, you like, is there anything that you'd want to say for people thinking about joining or hopping in? I mean, we're kind of getting to the end of the conversation, but like, is there anything like people ask a lot, or anything that I didn't ask you that you feel like we should have gotten into a little bit more?
No, I think me and you kind of approach it like from a similar concept of if you have social skills, you're down to work hard,
Yeah,
whether it be your program or my program, like or a combination of two, because I think we do have bring different things to the table in terms of like what kind of support we can provide, and maybe we'll do something in the future where we mesh some sort of something together. But
yeah,
I think people coming to home service, you just knowing that it's a team environment, and you're gonna surround yourself with people that are just like you, a little bit behind you, and then people that are doing numbers that would blow your brains. Like if I went online and said all of our numbers, people say I'm lying at 50K a month. Like if we're saying what we're actually doing, they'd think it's a lie. So if you're thinking about joining Home Service U or any mentorship in general, just do it. You're gonna surround yourself with the right-minded people, and it right away, like you're gonna see the difference and open your mind to different things. That's the biggest thing. And then for people in home service, like we encourage people to really scale the company. Again, owner operator is great, and we have guys in the group that are owner operators. Making 100,000 for yourself versus making 50,000 working for somebody else, that's still a huge win. But what we try to do is get people to add teams, build a real
Scale,
company,
yeah, build.
build a real company that's not relying on
Not
door to
spend
door.
door to door all day. Like,
No, no, like it's fine at the start, but like we don't run paid ads, we don't do door to door. The phone rings off the hook every single day because we've done the little things right, day in, day out at home service you, and that's what we hammer in. Like you're not out there to make quick cash. Yes,
you're
you will
building a
make
system,
you
building.
make money right away. Yes, you make money no matter what. Home service business, it's the best business to start. Low capital investment, you're making good money right away. But once you get in there, I truly tell guys to invest, keep investing into themselves, invest in their business, build a brand that people know, like, and trust so that you can go to Miami, go to your friend's wedding, come visit Spencer here in Seattle, and still be making the same amount of money. So that's what Home Service U is we help people start, and then once they're up and they get their feet under them, really focus on scaling and detaching themselves from the work.
Hell yeah, no, I like that. I mean, you're up in Canada. I mean, I like to say there's no reason to be broke in America. Like, yeah, if you're a guy who's willing to work, willing to learn, I mean, no reason to be broke. I mean, you can't be broke and lazy.
Yeah,
So
can't be broke and lazy.
yeah, I know.
That's the worst. No point of, yeah.
So sweet,
Awesome.
bro. Well, it was good to have you on. We got some more stuff to do. I know we're gonna do some stuff off camera, but thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you got any questions for Adam. We'll link him down below. Go check out his YouTube, Instagram, and all that sort of stuff, and let's get after it.
Thank you for having me.